I had nightmares. I was scared. I was like, did I lock my door? It was just, it's disgusting. I'm actually really scared to make this video. Like I'm getting the creeps right now. Okay. Doesn't help that I'm home alone. Okay, so I didn't want to put clickbait, so I didn't want to put this person is related to me because I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know. So if you haven't heard of Richard Ramirez, he's a serial killer, notorious, like kind of famous serial killer in California. He killed a bunch of people. He was a rapist. He was evil. He was terrible. He's already dead because he died of something about like cancer, like lymphoma, something like that. So he's dead, but I'm still scared. Doing research for this scared me. When I would watch it at night, I was getting scared. One time I was looking at the video and I was already feeling creepy, and then like I hear a big ass bang in my closet, and me and my cat were like, what the fuck was that? And then I got up and I looked in there and like nothing even had fallen. So I'm scared, okay? I feel like it's a bad vibe, it's bad energy. So I just want to get this YouTube video over with so I can never think about this and talk about this again. So before I tell you why I think he's related to me, I'm just gonna do some facts about him if you don't know who he is. You can definitely look him up. If you look him up, this is what you're gonna find. So you look up Richard Ramirez, it's everywhere. It's AKA the Night Stalker, Night Crawler, something like that. There's a bunch of documentaries about him. There's a bunch of videos about him, a lot of pictures. So if you look him up, you'll find everything. So I'm not gonna say everything he's done and everything because he's done so much horrible things. I do not want to say that in this video. But if you want to know and you're interested more about his life and everything and what he's done, go on YouTube and look it up because that's where I found out. So let me tell you how I found out about him, and then I'll tell you about him. I like scary stuff, like documentaries, crime stuff. I'm obsessed with it on YouTube. I watch all the documentaries. I'm pretty sure I've watched all of them, like solving crimes and all that. And there was this one called Richard Ramirez, The Night Stalker, and I was like, okay, let me watch that. And I watched it and I was like, oh my god, he's so terrible and evil. Like, this is crazy. It just blew my mind how somebody can be so evil. And then I watched more videos of him and I was just kind of realizing, I started getting little realizations. I'm like, not realizations, I started getting like a creepy feeling, and I'll just tell you at the end when I tell you about him, okay? I actually wrote some stuff down because I'm like, I can't. So his nickname is the Night Stalker. He was an American serial killer who killed 14 people that we know of and tortured dozens. So a lot of his victims got away. A lot of his victims he left alive after he'd beaten them to a pulp, like raped them. It was so bad. Okay, so he was evil. It's speculated that he was this way because when he was 5 years old, he got hit with a swing really hard that it knocked him unconscious. Oh my god, unconscious. Ever since then, he had like seizures. He had weird epileptic fits. Also, there's a lot of reasons as to why people think he turned out to be that way. So when he was in middle school, he would hang out with his older cousin named Miguel, and his cousin was also crazy. He went to the war, and when he came back, he had like PTSD and stuff, but also he was crazy because he would like rape the women over there and kill them and torture them and mutilate their bodies, and he would take pictures of it and he'd bring it back and he would show Richard Ramirez when he was younger all this stuff. So obviously he was like getting that it was okay to murder people, so he was not a good influence. And he actually, Miguel, his cousin, killed his wife right in front of him, Richard Ramirez, when he was a little kid. So at a very young age, he was used to murder, he was used to blood and all the nasty stuff. So he grew up really messed up. When he was around his 20s, he moved to California, and that's when he started doing all the killings, all the murders. The whole media was going crazy. Everybody was scared. They were like, oh my god, the Night Stalker is coming in, breaking into people's houses, because that's what he would do. He would walk around, see whose house was open their windows, open the doors, and he didn't care who the person was. He didn't have a type of victim. He targeted everybody, like an old lady, old couple, a young girl, old man. Like, he didn't care. Young kids, he did not care. He tortured and killed them and did horrible things. So I'm not gonna get into depth of the things he's done. Like I said, you can look it up, but it was bad. So finally the media was going crazy, and it was a chase to catch him, but eventually they caught him and he was arrested. He spent his life in jail and he died of cancer. If you want to see how they caught him and the chase and everything, it's so interesting, so definitely look it up. It's just like a wild story, but yeah, I'm not gonna go into that because this video is about why I think that he's related to me. So like I said, I love watching documentaries like that. So I stumbled upon that one and I was like, oh, interesting, okay. And I was watching his stuff, and like right off the bat, I thought he like resembled my dad a little bit, and that's terrible because my dad's such a good man. He's not evil, he's the best father in the world, so nothing like Richard Ramirez. But I just had a thought, like, because Richard Ramirez is was a young Hispanic guy when he got arrested and everything, so my dad is a Hispanic guy, and what I think he resembled my dad is when my dad was younger. So I'll insert a picture of Richard Ramirez, some pictures of when he was younger. I was thinking of inserting pictures of my dad, but I was like, no, because that's an insult to my dad. Like, I'm not about to have his pictures on this video, but just take my word for it. I thought he looked like him. I told my cousin, I'm like, does he look like my dad? And she was like, yes, he does. And my friends thought he looked like my dad too. Not like twins, but like just a resemblance, like they could be cousins or something. Ugh. I thought he kind of looked like my dad, but I was like, whatever, like, doesn't mean he's related to us just because he looks like my dad. So I guess I kept watching it. I kept like looking him up on Wikipedia and all the other websites. And so I found out that he was originally from El Paso, Texas. My cat started eating and I got scared. He's originally from El Paso, Texas, which is where all my cousins are from, all where they're born. So El Paso and Juarez, I don't know if you know, but it's like the same place. They're just separated by a border. Juarez is Mexico, El Paso is Texas. So all my cousins were born that were my age were born in El Paso from Texas, but my family, my grandparents and my dad and his brothers and sisters, they were all born in Juarez. That's where I was born too. So I was looking into it, and Richard Ramirez was born in El Paso. His parents were from Juarez. His dad was a police officer in Juarez. So anyway, I kind of panicked because I'm like, he looks like my dad, he's from the same exact place as my dad. Like, I mean, obviously not exact same because he's from El Paso and my dad's from Juarez, but like I said, it's the same place, so all you have to do is cross the border and then you'll be born there. So I was like, oh my god, that's creepy, but it could never be. I mean, Richard Ramirez, his last name is Ramirez, and my last name is Munoz. My dad's last name is Munoz. My grandpa's last name is Munoz, so like why would be related to him? Like, it's not possible. His last name is Ramirez. So I look him up more and I find out that his dad's last name is Ramirez. Richard Ramirez's dad. But his mom's last name, guess what his mom's last name is? His mom's last name is Munoz. Basically, Richard Ramirez, his maiden last name is Munoz, just like me, just like my father, that happens to look like him. Oh, I'm getting the chills right now. I'm getting creeped out. You might think I'm overreacting. I probably am, but let me tell you, I'm not doing this for views. I'm not putting it on YouTube to be like, I'm not trying to pull a story out of my ass like, oh, this is a little coincidence, let me just do this. I'm not trying to pull a story out of my ass. I didn't make this YouTube video for views. I wasn't like, let me make something up. Oh, you know what? It's kind of a weird coincidence. No. Literally, I stumbled across this video. I researched him more. The first thought was, I thought he looked like my dad. I had a creepy vibe. It was all something like in my head. I was like, oh my god, this is like I had a feeling. So So this happened a long time ago before I even made any YouTube videos. And I tell you, I freaked out. I told my cousin, I told my mom, I told my dad. I was like, what the fuck? I had nightmares. I was scared. I was like, did I lock my door? It was just, it's disgusting. I asked my dad, I was like, hey dad, this is crazy, but you know, there's a serial killer named Richard Ramirez, and he kind of low-key looks like you when you were young, and his mom's last name is Munoz. Like, what do you think about that? And he literally was like, oh, that's weird. And I'm like, like, he didn't give me much, and so I'm just like, okay, like, talk. I'm not trying to expose my whole family, but this is the truth. My grandpa is with my grandma, which is my dad's mom, but before that, he like had a whole other family with somebody else in El Paso. So he has kids, he has brothers and sisters that I've never met, I don't know about. I don't even think my grandpa knows about like his kids' offsprings. I don't even think so. I honestly think he's only been involved in this family, but I feel like there's a very high possibility that he's some second cousin or something to my dad. So, which obviously means he'd be like my second uncle or something like that, which is ew. I'm not even saying that, and I hope it's not true. Like, why would you want anybody like that in your family? But I'm just saying that it freaked me out. If this doesn't make any sense, I'm sorry. I even wrote stuff down and I'm still all over the place. It was hard to make this video. First, because I was creeped out. Second, because I was like, dang, I hope people aren't judging me and are like, oh my god, there's no way she's related to him. Like, she's making shit up. Which honestly, there's a high possibility that I'm not related to him. Like, honestly, I'm probably not. But I just thought it was a weird, freaky coincidence. It's not that much evidence. I wish I could go more into my family tree and be like, oh, look at the branches. They connect to him. I can't. And I can't do DNA tests. Like, I'm not going to do, like, what? I just want to conclude that my dad is the best person ever. He's not a serial killer. He's awesome. He's amazing. He's loving. He's not crazy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like my videos. Subscribe, like, follow my Instagram. Comment if you want. I'm scared. I'm sorry if I scared you. I scared myself with this video, but we're gonna be okay because he's gone. He's probably in hell. So, and my next video will not be scary or depressing or disgusting or about a serial killer. Okay, bye. Thank you.